You know, listening to a book on the telephone, your cell phone, it isn't always convenient to have headphones on or Bluetooth earbuds or even a stereo system. I think I've got a way that we can get around this and do a little bit of experimenting that we can bring the kids in and let them work with us too on trying to figure out exactly how to make the sound from a cell phone sound better without speakers or headphones or all the other electronic ways of doing it. Stick around, I'll show you what I'm talking about. And maybe we can get the kids involved in it too.
Hello, anyone. I'm Scott Bain. They call me the Old Farmer. A good number of us like to listen to music, lectures, podcasts, or audiobooks while we putter around in our workshops.
Chapter 1 of Great Expectations. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit librivox.org. Recording by Peter Keeble. Great Expectations by Charles Dickens.
But if we only use our phones for such listening, the audio quality is less than desirable. It's downright crappy. That's a technical term, crappy. It's barely possible for phone calls, let alone listening to something for more than a couple of minutes. Yes, we can plug in the headphones on wire or earbuds on Bluetooth or build a stereo system for the shop. But you may not be aware that the first speakers were not originally electrically operated. The first speakers were mechanical, and if tuned properly, could increase the sound level and add quality to the recording. If you have kids, grandkids, or even yourself, this is a project that could be a fun experiment, and when you and any kids have figured out your solution, you can make it more permanent by building a frame to hold your phone inside the cavity that you have built or found to work for louder or better sounding audio. Remember, size, design, and materials will give different sounds and loudness. The sounds you will get will be different than the examples I'm showing in this video, just because of the difference in makeup. First, let's see how things sound if we put the speaker of the phone on a rubber mat.
As my father's family name, on the authority of his tombstone, and my sister, Mrs. Joe Gargery.
It does make the audio a bit louder and maybe sounding a little bit better, too. What about a 5-gallon pail?
My first fancies regarding what they were like were unreasonably derived from their tombstones. The shape of the letters on my father's gave me an odd idea that he was a square, stout, dark man with curly black hair. From the character and turn of the inscription, also Georgina, wife of the above, I drew a childish conclusion that my mother was freckled and sickly. To 5 little stone lozenges, each about 1.5 feet long, which were arranged in a neat row beside their grave, and were sacred to the memory of 5 little brothers of mine, who gave up trying to get a living exceedingly early in that universal struggle, I am indebted for a belief I religiously entertained that they had all been born on their backs with their hands in their trouser pockets, and had never taken them out in this state of existence. Ours was the marsh country down by the river.
Now let's try a plastic waste paper basket.
Called Pip. I give Pirrip as my father's family name on the authority of his tombstone, and my sister, Mrs. of the aforesaid, were also dead and buried, and that the dark flat wilderness beyond the churchyard, intersected with dykes and mounds and gates, with scattered cattle feeding on it, was the marshes. At the low leaden line beyond was the river, and at the distant savage lair from which the wind was rushing was the sea, and at the small bundle of shivers growing afraid of it all and beginning to cry was Pip. "Hold your noise," cried a terrible voice as a man started up from among the graves.
To me, the two best for loudness and sound quality is the flower pot and the waste paper basket. But think of all the different things you can try, and if you can, especially with the kids, maybe build a frame to hold the phone inside the enclosure, or actually build an enclosure. There are formulas that can help with designing an enclosure on the internet. This is the part of the project that can really be done by kids. In fact, they may be better finding the formulas than you are. Some common materials are wood, MDF, plywood, plastic, and even steel. And don't forget glass. Remember those old soup can phones with a string? Building a set of these with young hands can be another joint project. But look around and see what you have on hand. And if you bring a child along for the project, make sure that safety is the first tool you use. And if a child is uncomfortable doing something, don't force the issue. This can be a really fun project, and I had a blast finding all the different things that worked. If I had shown all the things I had tried out, this would be a full-length movie. And I'm out of popcorn. Before we go, it's important to quickly mention for all who are visiting to subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment, and share with friends and family. Now for the most important part, thank you to those who have subscribed. Thank you. And yes, thank you to those who are visiting. We value you too. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers so that we may receive a pittance from YouTube to cover expenses. We replaced one camera, tripod, and bought a water-cooled editor for video production, plus all the tools we review. So if you could help us reach that 1,000 subscription point, thank you. Well, this is the old farmer Scott Bain. Be well, be safe, and be kind to someone.
Don't forget to click like and click subscribe on the Old Farmer YouTube channel. And thanks again for watching. Bye.
The VFW National Home for Children, providing families of veterans and active duty military opportunities for growth and development in a nurturing community. Please consider a donation to help their children and families. I.C. Rhodes speaking.